Hey, thanks for taking the Shadow Personality Quiz, the only quiz in the entire world that actually reveals what your shadow personality is and provides you a personalized framework on how to engage in shadow work. You've probably received either More Discovery Needed or the Enforcer Shadow. Now, check out this video for more details and contact me if you would like to go deeper.
Hey, welcome back, y'all. And I'm excited to talk about the Enforcer Shadow. Now, if you have experienced my Outsmarting Your Emotions program, you know that that program is dedicated towards helping you apply and develop emotional intelligence, specifically from doing shadow work as it relates to your personality type. Okay. Shadow work encompasses reintegrating parts of your personality that are underdeveloped or that you may repress or tuck away or push aside due to you not being very comfortable with it or due to some traumatic history. Now, here's the thing with the personas, okay? Enforcers have a specific shadow just as the other three personas do. Now, the interesting thing is, remember that enforcers' heart type is made up of what? Sensing and thinking, right? That detailed, concrete, literal way of processing the world and learning things, and that logical, reasonable, kind of tough and critical way of making decisions. If that is what enforcers typically prefer, we must then ask the question, what do they not prefer, right? Or what things are outside of their preference that may lead to them feeling uncomfortable? And that can be determined based on the other side of the spectrum, right? Enforcer shadow deals with their intuition and feeling. Remember that the opposite of an enforcer, the opposite of the enforcer persona is the guider persona. So, one way to think about this is when enforcers in the shadow, they are kind of like an immature guider. They're kind of like a childlike version of a guider, an immature guider. So they may find themselves using their intuition or feeling in an underdeveloped way. And when I say immature, I mean underdeveloped. When I use the word child, right, I'm talking underdeveloped, right? You're in the process of developing. Now, here's what that may look like in practice. When an enforcer is in the shadow, you may find that they are highly reactive and insecure. Depending on what type of enforcer you are, you may have one of these shadow personas. For example, if you are the adapting enforcer, your shadow is a distressor. If you are a preserving enforcer, your shadow is a worrier, because their least developed mental habit is intuition. They tend to become overwhelmed with fear or anxieties when looking towards the future, and they tend to struggle with perspective, often unable to see more than one option. Okay? This is because that intuition, which in a more developed sense is about being able to assess many options and explore different perspectives and to look to the future with possibilities thinking with an air of optimism, not an air of doubt or uncertainty. On the other hand, you have your administrating enforcers are doubters. Their shadow persona is doubters. And you have the inspecting enforcer's shadow is a reactor. Okay? That's because their least developed mental habit would be feeling. They may find themselves being overly sensitive to disagreement or feedback, becoming fragile with how they react, and being unable to manage emotional outbursts. Now, generally speaking, when enforcers get things wrong or they feel like they are not doing something right, they are likely to be in the shadow. And to engage in shadow work means you must lean into your intuition and feeling. When I say lean into it, that means to learn through contrast. That means interact with more guiders and have conversations with them and learn how you can mature in these areas and develop in these particular areas, intuition and feeling. By doing so, you will become more well-rounded, and you'll be able to limit and reduce how often you get triggered. And also, you will be able to better manage your emotions and better navigate discomforting situations and conflicts. Okay? So, that is the Enforcer Shadow. If you'd like to go further into shadow work, feel free to reach out to me or consider joining the Outsmarting Your Emotions program. This is very powerful stuff, and I encourage you as an enforcer to not push this aside, but to actively engage in trying to reintegrate your shadow. I hope this is super helpful for you. Continue pressing ahead. And by continuing to press ahead in your development, you are able to integrate that inner opposite. Okay? Because within every enforcer, there's a guider. There is a individual. There's a side of you that is able to look towards the future with a sense of hope, and to look towards the individual and see what's possible for them, and to encourage them emotionally and to be there for them emotionally. Within every enforcer, there's that possibility of a shining guider. And through shadow work, you can realize it. But here's the key thing. If you do not engage in shadow work, and that intuitive feeling side remains underdeveloped or immature in the future, it certainly can have dire implications. It could lead to you as an enforcer living a one-sided life. And living a one-sided life comes with many risks. In particular, being very rigid and unable to adapt to environments in the future. It also could look like burning a lot of bridges with relationships. Because if people only experience you in one particular way, and you're not able to flex different aspects of yourself in order to align and build relationships and to relate, it's going to be very difficult. So this is about the enforcer shadow. Do not overlook it. Get engaged.